Naruto opened a pet shop in the ninja world. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Period. Period. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Period. Chapter 231. Last time we talked about Gaara requesting his father to send a visiting letter to Konoha, and waiting anxiously in the Kazukage's office every day. Konoha's reply didn't make the Kazukage wait too long, and the two parties quickly confirmed the time of the visit. When Gaara found out, he was excited and wanted to join in. But this is the only thing Feng will not compromise on. Why? Gaara frowned, his face full of displeasure, and his chakra drove the sand to float around him. Why? You haven't clearly defined your identity, Gaara. The Kazukage frowned, as the one-tailed Jinchuriki. If you go to Konoha at this time, it will only be regarded as a provocation. Pursed his lips and left. The Kazukage heaved a sigh of relief after Gaara left. He covered his forehead with his hands in pain. He was indeed a bad father, and his words were not as effective as those of an outsider. But Feng also knew that what he had done was indeed unworthy of the title of father. Lord Kazukage, I'm Temari. Temari's voice came from outside the door. Feng put away his emotions and said, "Come in." And Gaara, whom she had just met on the road. It was not difficult to guess that he was angry with Gaara again. Temari still remembers Gaara's cute side, and her father is largely responsible for his current situation. She also had doubts and confusion about her father. Lord Feng, what do you want from me? You will also be on the team going to Konoha this time. The Kazukage looked at his daughter, who looked more and more like his wife, and finally softened his heart. Go and deliver the letter for Gaara, without a special reason. Gaara cannot leave the village. It is indeed a provocation for a tailed beast from the Hidden Sands village to go to Konoha, but there are other main reasons for not letting him go out. Although the 5 major countries have signed a peace agreement, the enemy ninjas are still eyeing the tailed beasts, not to mention that there are other small ninja villages or secret organizations that are also eyeing the tailed beasts. The consequence of forcibly extracting the tailed beast is the death of the Jinchuriki. After Temari accepted the mission, she went home to find Gaara was obviously still sitting by the window without saying anything. Temari sighed and sat down next to him. Father asked me to go on this mission, Gaara. Then raised his head and looked at her ears to him. We're leaving early tomorrow morning. You can write a letter during this time. Gaara was moved, and he really had a lot to say to Mr. Chi. I also want to send him the letters I have written over the years. If it was anyone else, Gaara wouldn't trust it, but if it was Temari who delivered the letter for him, really? Gaara lowered his eyebrows and looked a little shy. This expression made Temari dazed for a moment. She had never seen Gaara with such an expression since incident with her uncle. After confirming with her own eyes that her brother still had human emotions, Temari's eyes reddened. Really? When has my sister ever lied to you? And maybe when I come back I can bring you a reply from Mr. Chi. I'll write the letter now. Gaara's eyes sparkled. He ran back to the room, took out the letter paper he had prepared, and wrote carefully. It was not until late at night that Gaara finished writing. After wasting many sheets of paper, he carefully placed it on the top of the pile of letters, wrapped it up and prepared to give it to Temari the next day. I'm really crying because I haven't recovered from my cold for a month. There's only one chapter today. I will try harder tomorrow. Chapter 232. Uchiha Fugaku has finally dealt with all the mess within the clan and temporarily suppressed the elders. But it is only temporary, and Uchiha Fugaku can't say how long they can stay quiet. So take advantage of this time to continue with the next plan. After school, because it was raining, Sasuke followed Naruto to find Qing. Sasuke greeted Qing after seeing him, and went straight to the point. Father invites you to have dinner at home today. This you guys of course includes Naruto. Naruto was also included in the circle. Sasuke was a little surprised about this. He always felt that his father was a little different from before. But after thinking about it, I felt that this was reasonable. After all, if I just invited brother Qing, he would definitely refuse. After all, Brother Qing would never let Naruto eat alone at home. We'll go back together later. Qing has opened the shop for almost a month. Although there are not many customers, every one of them has a certain amount of financial resources and has bought a lot of things. We have also signed a long-term contract with the Inuzuka clan, and send a large amount of dog food and canned food every month. Goods. The bathing business is still quite dull. In addition to the dogs of the Inuzuka clan who are frequent visitors, there is also Parker from Kakashi's family. At one point, Kakashi complained about Puck's insistence on coming every day to make him take responsibility. So Qing had to tell Parker that if he took a shower like this every day, he would become a bald dog. Parker gave up because he didn't want to become bald and be left at. It was still early when they arrived at the Uchiha clan leader's house, and Mikado was still in the kitchen preparing food. Uchiha Fugaku and Itachi haven't returned home yet. The two children went to Sasuke's room to do their homework together, and Qing, who had nothing to do, went to the kitchen to help. Mikado refused immediately. How can I let you do that? We are not strangers, so please don't be polite to me, Sister Mikado. Qing folded his sleeves over his own arms after taking a look at the ingredients. I knew what dish to make. Mikado has been cooking in the kitchen for many years, so it feels new to have a companion. Moreover, Qing was very skilled in these tasks, and the two of them chatted while dividing the work and cooperating with each other. Itachi finished work early today. When he arrived at the door, he smelled the fragrance of food, which was the unique flavor made by Qing. His first reaction was that his mother asked Qing for advice on how to do it, but when I saw 2 extra pairs of shoes at the entrance and heard my mother talking and laughing with someone, I confirmed that it was Qing who came. Instead of disturbing them, Itachi chose to go upstairs to find Sasuke and saw Naruto was there too. After nodding in response to Naruto who greeted him, he waved to Sasuke to go outside and talk. Did father ask you to call Qing and Naruto? Qing, but he thought you would be directly at brother Qing's place, so he asked me to go. There are no secrets between brothers, and Sasuke stands on his brother's side compared to his father. Although he felt that what his father said made sense. Thinking about how his father seemed to be hesitant to speak before he left the house today, Itachi knew it was probably because of this matter. Itachi actually didn't want Qing to get involved in Uchiha affairs had been going on for so long, and even though Shisui had got into trouble, the elders had no intention of stopping. Instead, he was asked to replace Shisui. To be honest, Itachi was a little annoyed. Get ready to enter important Uchiha time. Chapter 233. When Uchiha Fugaku came back, he passed by the kitchen and saw Qing cooking with his wife. His expression was a little complicated. The picture was too harmonious, so harmonious that it made him feel uncomfortable. Face to face with the eldest son who came down from upstairs. Father was thinking, Qing is like a bridge between Uchiha and Konoha, and this matter does not require your intervention. You proceed as planned. Seeing that Itachi still looked disapproving, Uchiha Fugaku snorted, do you think I was the one who dragged Qing involved in Uchiha affairs? If Itachi thought about himself a little, he would know the reason. His father's words really woke him up. Itachi looked at the figure from behind in the kitchen, clutching his clothes tightly to his chest. His heart beat faster and faster, and the affection that surged up in him made Itachi want to hug Qing tightly. But now that there were other people at home, Itachi held back. Tonight's dinner at the Uchiha clan leader's house is more sumptuous than usual. Fugaku is no exception. It's just that I rarely show it because of face. Adults and children alike were very satisfied with the meal. Because Qing and Uchiha Fugaku still have things to discuss, and it is unknown how long the discussion will take, Mikado asked Sasuke to take Naruto to take a shower first, and just stayed there tonight. This was Naruto's first time staying over at a friend's house, and he was extremely excited. Before entering the underground meeting room, Qing reminded Naruto, Uncle Fugaku and I have something to discuss. Migbao should finish his homework and go to bed early with Sasuke, understand? Yes. I will be a good uncle. Naruto nodded vigorously. But considering how excited he is now, going to bed early is probably impossible. Only Qing and Uchiha Fugaku were present at today's meeting. Itachi was excluded. Fugaku saw this and looked at his eldest son with disappointment. The old father was heartbroken that the son he raised had gone to someone else. Qing looked at the conference room, which was decorated slightly differently from the last time he came, and went straight to the point without any preparation. What does the clan leader want to tell me? Uchiha Fugaku. He was directed to the point before he could even organize his words. After looking at the boy in front of him for a few seconds and seeing that he looked well behaved, Uchiha Fugaku gave up beating around the bush and said, "I accept your proposal last time, but are you sure that things will develop as you expected?" "No." Qing shook his head, but it is undeniable that Konoha's public security has been very good under the management of the Uchiha for so many years. Perhaps after a long time, everyone will get used to it and forget about it. Qing smiled gently. The cake that Uchiha gave up is enough for every family to have a piece, but can they really eat it? Take advantage of this time. The clan leader can also sort out the affairs of the clan. Qing was not going to get involved in Uchiha's internal affairs. All he wanted to do was to dissipate the struggle between Uchiha and Konoha, nothing more. Since Konoha has always been wary of Uchiha's power, how should Konoha respond if Uchiha takes the initiative to take a step back? If they retreat like this and still cling on, what will the other families of Konoha think? Who knows if they are the next Uchiha? If it really comes to this, the struggle between Konoha and the aristocratic families is only a matter of time. After all, anyone could be the next Uchiha. The inspiration my brother gave me finally came into use. Thank you all for your gifts and support. I will keep working hard. Chapter 234. There must be plenty of guest rooms in such a big house like the Uchiha clan leader. The idle Itachi was called by his mother to make the bed in the guest room. She wanted to find a set of clean pajamas for Qing. "Zhaoqing, go take a shower first. Your pajamas are ready." "Thank you, Sister Mikado." "Thank you for your help." Qing took it with a smile and went into the bathroom. The pajamas were of traditional Japanese style, light blue in color. It was the first time that Qing wore this kind of pajamas, and she felt very insecure because she felt empty underneath. Set would suit you very well. The slender figure looked a little thin under the loose pajamas. A few strands of his long hair fell down, giving him a lazy and beautiful look. "It's my first time wearing this type of pajamas. I feel so awkward." Qing gathered the exposed parts of her legs. "It's a perfect fit." Mikado looked around admiring the beauty. "Zhaoqing is getting more and more beautiful. As a woman, I feel jealous." Faced with such teasing, Qing said helplessly, "As a man, I would rather be praised for being handsome, Sister Mikado." "Okay, I won't bother you anymore. Our Zhaoqing is the most handsome." Misaka smiled with her hands covering her mouth. "Go and have a rest. It's getting late. Good night, Sister Mikado." After saying good night, Qing went to the guest room upstairs. Mikan looked at Qing's back and couldn't help but sigh. If only Kushina and Minato were still alive, they would definitely be proud of Zhaoqing now. The bed in the guest room had been made and a particularly nice aromatherapy was lit. Qing stood at the door and smelled the scent, feeling very relaxed. He had smelled this scent on Itachi before, but only occasionally, and only when Itachi was on vacation. And on the bed that originally belonged to him, there was a bulge. Qing pulled the person into his arms and said with a smile, "Does your father have the habit of making rounds?" "No." Itachi opened his eyes, his black eyes full of helplessness. "It doesn't matter if he sees it. Anyway, my father guessed it more or less." Qing continued, "What if you kick me out of your house?" Like a child, Qing imagined the scene and was amused by his own imagination. "It seems pretty good." He held the person in his arms tightly, and the thin fabric began to slip due to the friction. Itachi froze when he touched the hot, smooth skin. "It's not that I haven't touched it before, but I was still in the form of a kitten at that time, and the feeling was completely different from now." In the darkness, Itachi's ears turned red and his whole body felt hot and moved a little further away. "Is it hot?" Itachi stuck to him again and in a dull voice, "No." It was quite hot, but he was reluctant to move away. The next morning, Itachi woke up even earlier than usual. He suddenly opened his eyes, full of shock and confusion. He carefully distanced himself from the people around him and left quietly without disturbing Qing slightly. Fortunately, Qing woke up earlier. Hope this chapter gets approved. Chapter 235. The proud Uchiha would not allow himself to be looked down upon by anyone. The reason why the conflict with Konoha has come to this point is because of the cause and effect that started from the second generation. The Uchiha clan is not afraid of any battle, but as the clan leader, Uchiha Fugaku cannot let the Uchiha clan be destroyed in his generation. You can't jump into the fire with everyone knowing the consequences. After the decision was made, Uchiha Fugaku began to write letter to the Hokage's office. The Sandaime Sarutobi rose and looked at the resignation letter in front of him with his eyes slightly widened. "Fugaku, what does this mean?" "As you can see, the Uchiha have withdrawn from Konoha's power center. Uchiha Fugaku said frankly. This attitude made Sarutobi Hiruzen a little uncertain, and he subconsciously thought that this was some new conspiracy. Of course he would be happy if Uchiha, who had always been regarded as a thorn in Konoha's side, could step down from power, but this was not something he could decide on his own. Sarutobi Hiruzen, what's the reason? Uchiha Fugaku pondered for a moment and said, internal adjustments are needed. The Konoha Guard Department, Uchiha will complete the handover work in the next 2 days. I believe that the third generation will be able to make proper arrangements for the next vacancy. If there is nothing else, I will take my leave. After all, I will be very busy these 2 days. Without giving the third generation a chance to refuse, Uchiha Fugaku left after finishing his words. He went to the security department and informed them of the matter. If there are any problems, please return to the tribe and discuss them later. Konoha's guard department has always been composed of members of the Uchiha family. Although they did not understand, they still followed the orders of the clan leader and prepared to hand over their work. After everyone left, the Sandaime immediately convened an emergency meeting of all senior executives. And Itachi, the spy, was naturally present. When they heard the news that Uchiha was going to hand over the guard department, thought it was a trap. But after thinking about it, the only one who benefited from this incident was Konoha. Uchiha and Konoha have been fighting openly and secretly for so many years, it is impossible for them to suddenly give in at this time. Itachi heard of this. He took a step forward. Before today, my father had never held a family meeting. Judging from the reactions of the other members of the guard department, they were all unaware of this. The underlying meaning is that this matter was decided by Uchiha Fugaku alone, and none of the elders in the clan knew about it before today. Brief silence. But no matter what the reason is, since Uchiha has made such a big concession and given up the guard department, it will not be so easy for him to get it back. The Sandaime was the first to break the silence. I'll leave the Uchiha matters to Itachi. Your father will probably need you a lot during this period. Yes. After agreeing, Itachi retreated back to be a background board. My brain kept trying to guess my father's intentions. He suddenly thought of the private conversation between his father and Qing last night. Could this matter have anything to do with Qing? The next content is about the vacant security personnel. The result was that each family had its own personnel assigned to them. There is basically not much difference from what Qing guessed. After the matter was decided, the subsequent handover work would be arranged after the meeting. It was as if he was afraid that if he was a little slower, Uchiha would regret it. Chapter 236. The handover went smoothly. Because they had been informed in advance, the ninjas assigned by the aristocratic families to replace them were all respectful to the Uchiha family. I'm afraid that if I make them unhappy, they will suddenly change their mind. Even if you are treated with a bad face, you should still hand over the goods in a friendly manner. His attitude had never been better, and he only stopped smiling after the handover was and everyone had left. This kind of attitude did indeed make the Uchiha people who were suddenly dismissed from their positions unable to get angry, but they felt aggrieved. Uchiha attracted a lot of attention on the way back with the clan leaders. It was amazing to see what each of them was holding in their hands. The Uchiha clan has been serving as the guard since the founding of Konoha identity. This style of work has already caused dissatisfaction among many people. After seeing this, he couldn't help but gloat after realizing what was happening. Oh my, isn't this the Uchiha who always puts "I'm the best in the world" on his face? What, has the Hokage finally couldn't stand it anymore and dismissed all of you? Some people are like this. They are used to living a peaceful life and take everything for granted. Because they had been warned in advance, the Uchiha who heard this simply ignored it as if they hadn't heard it. Such an attitude makes the person look like a clown. The man who didn't get the scene he wanted to see but instead lost face had a livid expression on his face. Why are you so arrogant? I dismissed all of you today, and I will expel all of you Uchiha from Konoha someday. Uchiha Fugaku angry snorted in his heart. Konoha might not dare to do this. The Uchiha clan, who possesses a powerful bloodline limit, would be coveted by many ninja nations if they left Konoha. This is also one of the reasons why superficial harmony has been maintained over the years. I don't know whether it was intentional or unintentional, but Uchiha Fugaku put the facts directly in front of everyone along the way. Within half a day, the entire Konoha knew the news that the Uchiha clan leader and the entire Uchiha clan were removed from the team guard. The Uchiha elders were furious when they received the news and were already waiting at the clan's gate. Uchiha Fugaku looked at the elders in front of him with grim and stern faces and said, "Close the door and notify everyone to gather at training ground number 1. As for Itachi, He returned home and waited after the meeting held by the Hokage, and as expected, Sasuke is being left in Qing's home again. Rumor monger even said it in front of him. My father saw it today, and now the whole village knows that the Uchiha will be driven out of Konoha. This guy is the descendant of a small family. He has mediocre talent and has been compared with Sasuke of the same period many times. He has long been resentful of him words, but Naruto, who was walking side by side with Sasuke, stopped. He turned his head to look at the students who were looking at them with a smug look on their faces, and Naruto's usual sunny and cheerful smile disappeared completely. Preview of the next episode: Mingbao gets angry, starts a fight, and then his parents are called to the scene. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 237. Naruto stood out in school. It's not just because of his status in the village. The most important thing is his excellent grades and sunny personality like the little sun. Unconsciously, everyone gradually let go of the prejudice against him. I don't know when more and more people started gathering around him. My impression of him has also been refreshed to that of a handsome boy with a good personality and good temper. When the smile disappeared from his face, there was not much anger on that face. So, when the fist hit my face, I didn't even have time to react. Sasuke didn't react until the student who was beaten burst into tears. After knocking the man down with a punch, Naruto directly rode on him and attacked him left and right. It wasn't until that man cried and apologized and begged for mercy that Naruto stood up and said, "If you dare to say bad things about Sasuke and Sasuke's family again, I will beat you every time I see you." Sasuke chose to watch with his hands in his pockets once he realized what Naruto had done. When Naruto had beaten him to his heart's content, he went up to pick him up, stared at his swollen eyes and said coldly, "You can tell the teacher, but don't forget that it was Naruto and I who beat you up." In order to prove that he was also involved, Sasuke even kicked him again. The person being beaten. Sasuke still looked cool, but the slightly upturned corners of his mouth indicated that he was in a good mood. It feels surprisingly good to have someone stand up for you. As expected, before school was over, Naruto and Sasuke were summoned to the teacher's office together. Iruka-sensei rubbed his temples with a look of headache. To be honest, Naruto and Sasuke are both good students and surprisingly easy to lead. Not only do they have good grades, they also never get themselves into trouble, and Iruka is proud to be their teacher. As a result, the two people who were supposed to make a big splash suddenly caused trouble for him. But people are biased, and Iruka still hasn't figured out what happened. What if there is some misunderstanding? However, when Naruto arrived at the office, he stood directly in front of Sasuke and said, "Yes, I beat him up." "Iruka, Naruto, this is not the right attitude to admit your mistakes. I'm not wrong." Naruto turned his face away. Iruka looked at Sasuke. "Sasuke, you go ahead and talk." Sasuke pushed Naruto aside and raised his chin. "I'll do it too." "Iruka." His veins throbbed. "Call your parents. Let your parents speak." Qing was a little surprised when he received the news. It was impossible for him to be. He was even a little eager to try. After all, Naruto didn't have many opportunities to rebel, but his father and mother were busy. The clan meeting that had convened all members had ended. His father and the elders had gone to the next meeting, and his mother was busy with other things, so only he, the older brother, could come. When I met Qing at the school gate, I knew we were here for the same thing just by looking at each other. When they arrived at the office together, the two little ones were punished to stand side by side facing the wall. Naruto was originally whispering to Sasuke with confidence, but when he heard Qing's voice, his whole body trembled and he was instantly deflated. Sasuke saw his mood change. Having known each other for so many years, Sasuke has a certain understanding of Naruto. "Just put all the blame on me. It's all because of me anyway. I will leave it like this for now. I am really sorry. I will correct it as soon as I get home. I am afraid of missing 12 o'clock. I am really sorry everyone. I will correct it soon. I will chat with you here about what happened today. It is really terrible. My friend has yin-yang vision and can see dirty things. We met two of them on the way to the square. I was so scared that I cried and had goosebumps all over my body. He also confirmed with me if there was anyone there, and I said no. The other one was in the house opposite. And I was really scared. I'm really sorry to everyone. I don't want to stop updating and cry. Exclamation mark. I'll change it later. I'm out, so I'll be back later. Sorry, it has been changed. It's 3 a.m. now. Good night, everyone. Chapter 238. The two children's self-proclaimed whispers were clearly heard by the adults present. Qing coughed dryly and resisted the urge to hug the cute little Naruto. Do you understand the reason for the fight, Mr. Iruka? The voice of teacher Iruka made Iruka stand up suddenly and wave his hands quickly. Senior, just call me by my name. His face flushed and he even forgot to breathe. No matter how much time has passed, Iruka's admiration for Qing still exists, even if this is a boy younger than him. Don't be nervous. I'm just here as a parent. Qing gestured to calm Iruka down. Relax, take a deep breath. Iruka adjusted his state under Qing's guidance, but his cheeks were still red. They refused to tell the reason, so please come and persuade them. Before this, the other teachers in the office looked at Naruto and Sasuke, who had no scars on their bodies, and compared them to the other child who was beaten into a pig's head, and directly blamed them for the one-sided beating. With the attitude of an experienced person, he asked Iruka to punish these two problem students. Iruka felt that there must be some other reason. Until the truth of the matter is completely clear, no matter how much Iruka likes both Naruto and Sasuke, two excellent students, he will not favor either one. And the parents of the child who was beaten are also on their way. Qing nodded and shouted to the children who were facing the wall, Mingbao, little Sasuke, come here. The two people who were summoned came over without hesitation and stood in front of Qing and Itachi. Itachi signaled with his eyes to Sasuke to stand on Qing's side. Sasuke. Okay. Qing gently touched Naruto and Sasuke's heads. Who'll speak first? Spoke first, I'll say. Naruto fought to stand up for me. Sasuke took all the responsibility on himself with one sentence, and I also had him. Seeing him so anxious, Naruto stamped his feet on the spot and said, I lost my temper and started to act. Uncle, Itachi, don't blame Sasuke. That person was the first to scold Sasuke, and he also spread rumors that Sasuke's family would be driven out of the village. I just. Naruto's eyes were red. I'm sorry, Uncle, I won't fight anymore, don't be angry with me. Itachi's gaze fell on Sasuke, and seeing that he was just looking at Naruto worriedly and was not affected by other words, he felt slightly relieved. Qing put away his smile and asked Naruto seriously, do you regret standing up for Sasuke today? Naruto paused and shook his head timidly. No regrets. Qing hugged the two children in her arms. I'm not angry. He was wrong to scold people and spread rumors. You did nothing wrong to vent your anger for your friend, but you used the wrong method, and fighting is the lowest level of behavior. Seeing Naruto's confused look, Qing continued, you can challenge him like a man. Then go to the training ground, defeat him openly in front of everyone, and then make him apologize to Sasuke. Naruto, who didn't know there was such a method, widened his eyes. After listening to it, Sasuke also thought about it seriously. Qing had a smile in his eyes. Do you know what to do now? In fact, in this world where the strong are respected, Qing strongly supports Naruto's way of solving problems with his fists. But this is not the safest solution for Konoha in peacetime. Chapter 239. The child beaten by Naruto was called Nakamura Masao. He had average talent and looks, the type that could not be stopped if thrown into a crowd. Although the father and mother in the family are both ninjas, they are just ordinary chunins, working an ordinary job in the village. Living in such an ordinary family, Masao Nakamura always felt that something was missing in his life. When everyone in the village was avoiding Uzumaki Naruto, he was actually just a bystander. Some even sympathize with him. I also envy outstanding children and their extraordinary families. I have also fantasized that if I had such a family, I would definitely be the object of praise. So after he witnessed Naruto's transformation with his own eyes, watching him go from having nothing and being hated by to now everyone having more and more talented people around him, he became the object of his envy throughout his childhood. Therefore, when his idol appeared in his sight for the first time, he was standing next to the person he once sympathized with and pitied. Masao Nakamura was hit hard, so I don't know when he turned from a spectator into a participant. Even going further to slander, the Nakamura family was just an ordinary ninja family. They didn't feel anything when they received a call for help from their son after he fought at school. After all, kids of this age can be very naughty. As a ninja, it is normal to fight. But when he heard the names of the other two participants, he stood up and asked loudly, Who? Who are you fighting with? He usually works in an orderly manner, never makes any mistakes, and dares not offend anyone. So when he heard the names of Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke, Nakamura Masaki felt his eyes go dark. Then I left work early and rushed to school. At this time, Nakamura Masao had his wound bandaged and was walking towards the teacher's office at a snail's pace. He happened to come face to face with his father, who had rushed over. When he saw his father, Masao Nakamura felt a little guilty, but more of aggrieved. Just as he was about to complain, he saw his father's face turned livid, so he shut up instantly and followed him with red eyes. Young masters first and breathed a sigh of relief when he found that they were not injured at all. So far so good. The parties involved and the parents were all present, and although it was just a fight between children, the content involved was extremely embarrassing. Iruka then invited Nakamura to step aside and explained what had happened in detail. As a result, the more he listened, the more frightened he became, and glared at his son fiercely. They did mention it to their wife at home this afternoon, but it was not as exaggerated as their son said. At this time, the Uchiha clan leader and his two sons were all present. He really had no idea what to say, so he could only hold his sons' heads and apologize. I failed to discipline my son and let him say such nonsense. I am really sorry. Nakamura lowered his head and apologized to the four children who were much younger than him. I will discipline and punish him well. I hope you can forgive me. When Masao Nakamura, who was being held down on the head, heard his father's apology, he realized the seriousness of the matter for the first time and apologized tremblingly. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. He had actually slandered Naruto a lot before, and now he felt unprecedented attention in this small group of boycotting Naruto. He even raised his voice deliberately when Naruto was alone. It was only because Naruto never responded to him that he became more and more addicted. And now, he seemed to have suddenly woken up from his anger. Qing patted Naruto and Sasuke. You two decide what to do. Naruto thought about it, then stepped forward and said, I'm sorry for hitting you, but I won't forgive you now. Naruto would not reconcile with someone who hurt his friends. Sasuke stood beside him. I won't forgive you either. You spread bad things about Naruto before. I will never forgive you in my life. Sasuke gave a few examples of people in the school who were always in certain cliques, surprised that Sasuke had known it all along. Hearing that there were many things about Naruto before this, Qing narrowed his eyes and looked at Iruka. I'd like to trouble Mr. Iruka to investigate this matter carefully. Iruka came back to his senses from the shock. Yes, I will give Naruto and you a satisfactory explanation for this matter. Nakamura Gossamer looked at his son, who had his head lowered, obviously feeling guilty, and his heart sank. He said that he would come to apologize solemnly another day and then took his son away. Iruka then gave feedback to Qing and Itachi about Naruto and Sasuke's excellence and school performance. This current score is not their upper limit, it's just the upper limit of the score. After hearing the praise for her children, Qing led the children home with pride on her face. Because of the length today, please give me a free gift. Chapter 240. Later, the story between Naruto and Sasuke spread. Many people envy the friendship between them. Sasuke is not the only Uchiha who didn't graduate from the school. But they are not as good as Sasuke, who has a partner like Naruto to help them. In fact, they had heard some of the news, and for the time being they did not act rashly in the face of those nasty words. But within less than 2 days, the news that the entire Uchiha was dismissed from the guard department confirmed. Because the guard department has always consisted of only Uchiha clan members, people from other families began to appear. The Byakugan of the Hyuga clan, the ninja dogs of the Inazuka clan, the bugs of the Aburim clan, and many other families all appeared in the guard department to give a reasonable explanation. However, that day Uchiha Fugaku gathered together and said only one thing: I am the leader of the Uchiha clan, and I think I have the right to decide this matter. These words were spoken to everyone, and also meant a formal split from the elders are not stubborn old men. The current patriarch is fully grown, and is no longer the young patriarch who was at the mercy of others. And the younger generation also stood behind Itachi. Are you kidding? None of these people can beat Itachi. Don't you understand how to choose? The fighting power lies in the young people. What can a group of old, weak and sick elderly people do? The result was temporarily settled, but the elders stopped investing funds. Uchiha Fugaku provided his family's personal savings. Hokage, the Uchiha will form a team on their own to take on the mission. The commission earned from completing the task belongs to the tasker himself, and there is no need to hand over any part of it. This made the Uchiha ninja families, which were ordinary or even relatively poor, very happy. After forming their own teams, they all headed towards the Hokage building. Couldn't tell what he felt. Uchiha Fugaku still had a lot of things to deal with, and Mikado assisted him, so Sasuke still lived in Qing's house during this period. Every time Itachi came back from a mission, he would consciously go to Qing's side. As for the public security in Konoha, perhaps it seemed that there had been no changes at first. But in fact, things are changing every day. After observing for a few days and confirming that the Uchiha is really no longer there, they begin to stir on the soon it was time for the interview with the Sand Village in the Land of Wind. The list of people to be recruited naturally fell on Hatake Kakashi, since he was the only one with the least time among his peers. The other Jonin were busy training the Shin'an, and the rest of the special Jonin were not in the village. Konoha is neglecting them? Although Konoha is not afraid of the hidden Sand Village, it still needs to maintain harmony on the surface. So after much thought, Kakashi is the most suitable one. Of course there was no way Kakashi would be late on such an important day. It's almost time, so I just wait at the village gate. He was still leaning against a tree with a listless look on his face, holding a copy of Intimate Paradise decorated with a new cover in his hand. It was not until he heard a noise at the door that he put it away and walked over. Thank you for the gifts. Chapter 241. After meeting, the two sides exchanged a few pleasantries. After asking for their opinions, Kakashi led the Sand Village envoys to prearranged into stay. The meeting with the Hokage was scheduled for the next day. The envoys of Sand Village were covered in dust after traveling all the way here, but this was nothing for the Sand Villagers who had lived in the harsh environment of the Wind Country for many years. Slowed down along the way, the princess did not fall behind. But after traveling so fast, Temari, who has not yet graduated from the ninja school, has almost reached her limit. Speaking of which, this was Temari's first time leaving the Land of Wind, and she was a little surprised when she approached the Land of Fire. Blue sky and white clouds, clear water and lush vegetation are all things you won't find in the Kingdom of Wind. As she approached Konoha, she remembered the hometown that Qing had told them about a few years ago. After seeing the environment of Konoha with her own eyes, Temari couldn't help but sigh that Konoha was what a great place. Moreover, most of the girls here have fair skin and look delicate. This made Temari, who had a healthy complexion, couldn't help but touch her face. She wasn't the type who cared that much about her appearance, but compared to this group of girls, she seemed very dark. Temari subconsciously pulled the hood down. The hotel has a nice environment and even has an indoor hot spring. Since Temari was the only female, she was given a large, separate room all to herself. Before Kakashi left, Temari called him. "Excuse me, Mr. Hatake, I have an old friend in Konoha. Can I move freely today?" Kakashi scratched his hair with a headache. "In theory, showing you around Konoha is my next task. If you want to act alone, you need to apply to the Sandaime-sama." Temari also knew that a request was a bit difficult. After all, she had a special identity. Although she hid her identity from the outside world and was just an ordinary ninja from the hidden Sand Village, people inside knew about it. But seeing Qing's matter, she still wanted to go alone. "Excuse me, who is your friend?" As far as Kakashi knew, this was Princess Temari's first time going out. "I don't know if Mr. Hatake knows him. It's Mr. Qing." Temari thought it would be even better if he knew him. It was not convenient for her to move around freely, so she asked Kakashi Hatake to pass on the message. When Kakashi heard Qing's name, his eyes were a little vague, but he was not surprised at all. "I just didn't expect that there would be a girl of similar age in Qing's circle of friends, and she even came to me." Kakashi, who was recently checked for viruses in the latest issue of Intimate Paradise, did not think of it as pure friendship. "I know him." It could be said that they were very familiar with each other. "Do you need me to pass a message for you?" In fact, if Qing came to pick someone up in person, Kakashi felt that the third Hokage would not say anything. The elders will have opinions, but they won't actually call anyone over to question them. "Yes. Very much needed." Temari thanked him solemnly. "Please tell Mr. Qing that Temari from the hidden Sand Village wants to see him." Kakashi smiled and agreed, "But I'm not sure when Qing will be free." "Yes, I will wait here for Mr. Qing." Temari breathed a sigh of relief after seeing off Kakashi Hatake. There were no outsiders here, and she visited the beautiful big room like an ordinary girl. Soft beds and quilts, comfortable and clean tatami, steaming indoor hot springs. Temari couldn't wait to soak in the hot spring and couldn't help thinking. It would be great if Gaara could come too. I want Gaara to try the hot spring too. He will definitely like it. Chapter 242. Kakashi glanced into the darkness before leaving. Kakashi, who was very free, went back to the Hokage building to report and then went to deliver a message for Temari. Looking at the warmly decorated pet shop, Kakashi couldn't help but sigh that it was surprisingly easy to find Qing now. At this moment, Qing was sweeping the floor at the door with a broom. Kakashi narrowed his eyes and raised his hand when Qing noticed him. Yo. Morning, brother Kakashi. Qing stopped what he was doing and smiled. A gust of wind blew by, ruffling Qing's wet hair and ponytail that fell on both sides. This scene reminded Kakashi of the first encounter between the heroine and the hero in Intimate Paradise. The words suddenly materialized before Kakashi's eyes, making him feel dazed for a moment. Senior brother. Qing rarely saw Kakashi in a daze and felt a little surprised. It's okay, I just suddenly feel that you have grown up a lot. In Kakashi's memory, Qing is still the child with delicate looks, well-behaved personality, and sometimes unexpectedly impulsive. Are you suddenly so sentimental? I mean, senior brother isn't that much older than me. Qing raised an eyebrow, swept the leaves into a pile, then walked into the house with a broom, motioning Kakashi to follow. Kakashi's mission today was indeed just to entertain the envoys from Sand Village. At this moment, the ninjas of Sand Village were resting, so there was really nothing to do. Looking back, it has been a long time since I had a private chat with Qing. This time Kakashi did not summon Puck, who had been clamoring to come. Qing asked Kakashi to sit down and he went to make some tea. Qing left some space in the store as a small tea room, where he could also cook some simple meals if necessary. For example, cook rice and make rice balls. Every time Kakashi came here, he would just drop off Puck and leave without taking a closer look. He looked at the price tags of the goods on the shelves, some of which were even more expensive than his meals. And he was shocked. He remembered that Parker was also obsessed with Qing's things, and he would nag him for a long time every time to buy them. Qing came out with a brewed tea. Seeing Kakashi looking at the merchandise, he placed the hot tea on the counter and asked, "Do you need me to introduce it to you? Isn't this price a bit too expensive?" Kakashi pointed at a dog food that was enough to equal several months' salary for an ordinary person. Effects, Qing thought for a moment and gave a vague answer, physical therapy. In fact, he tried to add his own chakra when making it. His chakra can even calm down a tailed beast that is in a berserk state, let alone an ordinary ninja beast. In fact, this dog food is for ninja dogs, and the so-called special effect is actually to calm the chakra of ninja dogs. Various expensive medicinal herbs and pure beef and the raw materials can also strengthen the body. Qing didn't know whether there would be other effects. After all, he didn't specifically look for test subjects. There is no clear mark because Qing just wants to sell it to the right person. Kakashi had a feeling that Qing had a lot more to say, but he didn't ask any more questions. On a hunch, he bought 2 bags, along with the other odds and ends of snacks and canned goods Parker had mentioned. Kakashi didn't have the habit of carrying a lot of money when he went out, but because he was going to entertain ninjas from other countries today, he filled his wallet with money. Now the wallet was visibly deflated, even after Qing gave it a half-price discount. Qing's shop may not seem to have much traffic, or even very little. Looking back, the patriarchs of several large families in the village had come here once out of concern for their younger generations and had signed the bills. I didn't know it before because I didn't look closely, but now Kakashi is sure that Qing's store's monthly turnover will definitely not be low. Chapter 243. The weather is very good today. The warm sun feels very comfortable on my body. Qing placed a leisure table and chairs at the door and took out some snacks to go with the tea. The two of them drank tea and ate snacks, looking very leisurely. Right. Kakashi was too leisurely, and his brain was briefly empty. After hearing Qing's words, he suddenly remembered, I almost forgot that today is the day when the ninjas from the Hidden Sand Village come to Konoha. The eldest daughter of the 4th Kazakage is also with him. She said she wants to meet you. It's Temari. Qing put down the teacup and stood up. It must be something important. I'll go find her now. Kakashi paused. Why don't you leave a shadow clone watching the store? Before he could finish his words, Qing had disappeared. Kakashi felt a gust of wind brought by Qing in silence. He sighed and continued drinking his tea. Helping Qing run the store should have been a very leisurely thing. But for some reason, not long after Qing left, people started arriving one after another. They are all familiar faces. The logistics staff of the Hokage building were a little surprised when they saw Kakashi. After learning that Qing was not there, he found what he wanted on his own, paid the bill, exchanged a few words with Kakashi, and left. Then, the same thing happened one after another. Kakashi asked more when the next person came. The man replied, "It was the Sandaime-sama. He brought back a lot of trial packs from Mr. Chi and distributed them to us. Those who have pets at home or have signed up for summoning beasts all got one. The smell was so delicious when we opened it. Everyone's cats, dogs, summoning beasts have been thinking about it all the time. We were too busy recently, and Mr. Kai's shop closed too early. After discussing it, we decided to take turns running out today, so that we wouldn't delay work. As for why we don't just have one person represent us in buying, the point is, in the logistics department wants to see with their own eyes and get in touch with the rumored Mr. Chi. Even though they know he is not here at the moment, they still want to come in person everyone to try their luck." Kakashi, who was forced to work as a cashier. As for Qing, after confirming the place, he went straight to find Temari. He remembered what Temari had mentioned before and wanted to see flowers other than cacti, so he took a detour to the flower shop. The flower shop belongs to the Yamanaka family. Aino has gone to school, so only her mother is there now. When she saw Qing, Mrs. Shansong was a little surprised. "Who is it for?" "It's for a friend, a pretty little girl. Wouldn't it be weird if I picked one of each color?" Qing had never chosen flowers by herself, so she didn't know how to match them to look good. "Leave it to me, and I promise to dress you up beautifully." Mrs. Shansong made tea for Qing and asked him to wait aside. About half an hour later, the bouquet was ready. Mrs. Yamanaka's flower arrangement is indeed amazing, and as she said, every color colliding together is really spectacular. "Thank you, I'm sure she will like it just like that." Qing left the flower shop holding the bouquet, and this scene was also seen by many people. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 244. Qing left the flower shop holding a huge bouquet of flowers. The colorful bouquet didn't look like it was for commemorating anyone. The aunt from the shop next door ran to the Yamanaka flower shop to gossip and found out that it was a gift for a girl, and it spread throughout the street. When Aino returned to the store to eat lunch during her lunch break today, she heard this. Time went back to the morning. After buying a bouquet of flowers, Qing went to the inn where Sans Village was staying to see Temari. Standing at the door of the room, Qing knocked. Knock on the door. 3 long knocks and 1 short knock. Then 3 short knocks and 1 long knock. 2 taps with his fingertips. Temari knew he was coming without Qing saying anything. This was a simple little code they had agreed upon. Or it was because Qing made a decision before when he wanted to coax Gaara. The door opened with a swish. Although she knew it was Qing outside, Temari was still surprised. After all, she thought the earliest she could see Qing would be after dark. Qing's smiling face compared to the last time they met, Temari felt that Qing was even more beautiful, and was momentarily lost in thought. "Well, long time no see, Mr. Chi." "Long time no see, Temari, nice to see you in Konoha." Qing half knelt and looked directly at her, pushing the bouquet in front of Temari. "Look, these are the flowers that will bloom in Konoha in winter." Beautiful bouquet, widened her eyes and was a little flattered. "Can I really accept it?" Qing smiled and said, "I would be very happy if you are willing to accept it." "Thank you, it's really beautiful." Temari took it with both hands, her eyes attracted by the beautiful flowers. Her cheeks were slightly red. Anyone would be happy if the casual words she said when she was a child were remembered out of politeness. Qing had no intention of going in. "You came to Konoha specifically to find me. What's wrong with little Gaara?" Temari turned and went back into the house. When she came out again, she was holding a heavy-looking package in her hand. "Qing, what is this?" "These are the letters Gaara has written to Mr. Chi in the past few years." Temari handed them to Qing solemnly. "This visit to Konoha was actually requested by Gaara, but he can't leave the village yet, so I came to deliver the letter to Mr. Chi on his behalf." Qing was surprised that Gaara had written so much. Temari continued, Because Mr. Kai's whereabouts have been uncertain in recent years, there is no accurate address for receiving letters. Gaara will write to you when he misses you. This spiritual sustenance is actually very heavy. Qing did not expect that he would leave such a heavy mark on Gaara. Has been looking forward to meeting Mr. Qi again. Temari picked out a few things about Gaara to share with Qing. Especially since my father has lost a lot of hair recently because of Gaara's incident. Temari said, we finally decided on a time. Gaara was depressed for a long time after learning that he was not allowed to leave the village. Qing listened carefully and responded from time to time. Qing left only when it was almost noon. Chapter 245. Before leaving, Qing said to Temari, I don't know when you will leave. If I can't catch up, you can come find me. Qing left his address to Temari. When I returned to the store, I was met with Kakashi's sad eyes. Qing. He actually thought Kakashi would leave first. I'm sorry, I kept you waiting for so long, senior brother. Kakashi didn't say anything, but stared at Qing with resentful eyes. Pulled Qing's hand off. He wasn't actually angry. He just found Qing's expression interesting when he walked in. Sir, please keep a polite distance. Kakashi felt his face burning. Luckily he was wearing a mask. With our attention, what distance should we keep? Qing raised his eyebrows and took a step back, with his hands on his hips. Thank you for helping me watch the store. I'll treat you to lunch. Kakashi remained indifferent. Qing added, you can order food. Super deluxe sori bento. No problem. Qing made an okay gesture. Then I'll ask you to watch the store for me again. I'll go buy some ingredients and be back soon, okay? Kakashi waved his hand. In the afternoon, after eating, Ino ran to school. After arriving at school, Ino searched all over the school for Naruto. Finally, he was found on the roof, taking a nap with Shikamaru and Choji. Naruto rested his head on Sasuke's lap. As he was reading a book, Ino's eyes briefly fell on Sasuke and she wanted to wake Naruto up. But there was still some time before the afternoon class and she couldn't bear to disturb him. Sasuke noticed her anxiety and seemed to be very anxious to find Naruto. What's wrong? Ino couldn't help but want to share the explosive news she just heard, but the people involved were acquaintances, so the first step was of course to verify its authenticity. Naruto was not asleep yet. He was struggling for a long time and finally found Sasuke as a breakthrough point. Ino couldn't help it anymore. Ino took a deep breath. My mother said that brother Qing went to my house to buy flowers today, and he wanted to give them to a woman. Now the word has spread in our street that brother Qing is going to propose. Is Naruto going to have a little aunt? She finished what she heard in one breath. Naruto is with brother Qing every day. He should know, right? But Naruto is too busy to do anything. If there really is a little aunt, we will definitely know it first, given how much Naruto likes Qing. He must be upset to know that he will be taking away his uncle's love. Hearing such gossip, Sasuke felt a little strange for a moment. It's just buying a bouquet of flowers, and it doesn't necessarily have to be given to a woman. No. My mother said that it was brother Qing who said in person that he wanted to give it to the girl. The bouquet was personally packed by her mother, and she asked about it specifically, so there was no way she had heard it wrong. Sasuke was shocked and felt complicated. He suddenly felt sympathy for his own Nissan who seemed to be about to suffer a breakup. Has this matter spread? Sasuke usually has no interest in gossip, but this matter concerns his brother. Ino thought for a moment and responded, it's about the same. We have a lot of aunties over there, and a lot of fans of brother Qing. I guess my brother will know soon. While Sasuke was thinking about whether his brother needed comfort, Naruto woke up. He rubbed his eyes and sat up. He yawned drowsily and leaned his head on Sasuke's shoulder again. Morning ha. Sasuke put his index finger in front of his mouth and Ino nodded in understanding. Question mark? Qing and Itachi were getting married while I was away? Chapter 246. In fact, based on Sasuke's understanding of Qing, getting married at this time is impossible. Sasuke knew how important Naruto was to Qing. If Qing really had someone to marry, she would definitely tell Naruto first instead of hiding it. The most important is, Sasuke has always known that his brother likes Qing, and Qing is also very good to his brother. His intuition tells him that there is something between the two of them, but it has not been confirmed yet. Brother Qing is not an irresponsible person, therefore, the news out there is definitely a rumor. Sasuke, don't let Naruto hear such uncertain things. I know. Got it. The two communicated silently with their eyes. However, just arrived in the classroom, the girls rushed directly to Naruto. Naruto. Who is Lord Qing's girlfriend? Looked confused. Ino rescued Naruto from the crowd and stood in front of him with her hands on her hips. Don't listen to rumors outside. And even if Qing has a girlfriend, it's very rude for you to ask about his private affairs like this. That's what I said, but that's Master Qing. Hey. But I really want to know. I really can't think of any beautiful woman in the village who is worthy of Master Qing. Besides, I heard that this news came from the Ino family. It can't be Ino's mother who spread rumors. Jingyu was speechless. No, my mother just said that Brother Qing bought flowers for a female friend, not a girlfriend. Ah. Is it true? Naruto, tell us who that woman is. It was too late for Ino to realize that she had said the wrong thing. Naruto looked at the people around him. What are they talking about? Sasuke covered Naruto's ears with his palms. It's all nonsense. Don't listen. Naruto, oh, get out of the way. Sasuke said coldly, quieting down all the excited girls and making way. He could only watch helplessly as Naruto was led back to his seat by Sasuke. But it was impossible for Naruto not to hear it. After analyzing the meaning of his classmates' words, he asked Sasuke, Sasuke, are they saying that my uncle has a girlfriend? What is a girlfriend? Sasuke didn't really want to answer. Hey. Sasuke, you know something, tell me. Naruto poked Sasuke's cheek. Sasuke grabbed his hand and explained reluctantly, a girlfriend is someone you will marry in the future and live with for the rest of your life, just like my mom and dad. Naruto, who grasped the key point, widened his eyes. Uncle is getting married. Is he going to live with someone else? Naruto's face suddenly turned pale when he thought of something. That's not the case. Listen to me, Naruto. Sasuke held his face with both hands and made him look at him. Brother Qing values you so much, he can't possibly not tell you if he wants to get married, right? Naruto thought about it and nodded. So, what they said were all rumors, just like the previous person who said that Uchiha was going to be driven away. They were all rumors. Do you understand? Naruto understood after thinking about it this way, and the sadness that had just risen was swept away. Yet, I understand. He smiled, as expected of Sasuke. So amazing, you know so much? Being praised like this, Sasuke pretended to be calm and said, you're just a little dumb. The tips of his ears were red. The last class today was a self-study class. Naruto was sleeping on the table. He suddenly woke up and turned his head towards Sasuke. Hey, Sasuke. Sasuke looked down at him. Naruto chuckled, straightened his back and leaned close to Sasuke's ear, whispering to him, I also want to marry my uncle and Sasuke, this way they can live together forever. Sasuke. He didn't understand. No weasels today. Chapter 247. Itachi heard some rumors about Qing today. For example, Qing's secret girlfriend, Qing buying flowers to propose marriage, etc. Of course, he didn't believe it. After all, it was Qing. How could Qing, who said she would be responsible for him, openly cheat? So he just treated it as an ordinary rumor, and his heart was not disturbed at all. I returned to Qing's house and met Sasuke's sympathetic eyes. Welcome back, brother. Qing was not seen in the room. Qing basically would not stay in the study room, and even if he did, he would only look for study materials for the children. And it has been several hours since dinner. I'm reading letters. Sasuke put the heated food on the table. When I came back today, I brought back a package of letters, all written by the same person. Sasuke emphasized the word same person and said, eat first, brother. Itachi, thank you. Of course Itachi understood the meaning of Sasuke's emphasis. Sasuke supported his face with one hand and continued to talk about the information he had collected. Mr. Kakashi said that Qing did go to see a woman in the morning. She was from the Hidden Sand village. Itachi. There was indeed a female among the messengers from the Hidden Sand village, and she was the eldest daughter of the 4th Kazekage that time. He was just a younger brother that Qing knew, and Itachi suddenly became unconfident. This uneasiness continued until the second half of the night, and Qing had not yet come out of the study. Itachi stood in front of the study door for a long time, until dawn, when the door finally opened. Qing was yawning and holding a letter in his hand. Itachi could sense his attitude towards the letter, his eyes suddenly widened. You stood here all night. There are few familiar auras coming and going in this house, and there are barriers set up around the house. If there was no strange aura suddenly appearing, he wouldn't have to be on guard all the time, otherwise it would be so tiring or frozen after standing in such weather for a whole day. Not only his face, but his hands and feet were also cold. What if I catch a cold standing like this? In fact, Itachi could use chakra to keep warm, but he didn't do it. Itachi looked at Qing for a long time before speaking. I wonder what my brother's busy with. He hadn't spoken a word all night, and coupled with the influence of Honki, his voice was hoarse. Qing picked up Itachi and carried him upstairs. You're standing here all night just asking this. Itachi heard the underlying anger in his voice. He knew Qing would feel sorry for him, but he didn't expect he would be. In Itachi's impression, Qing rarely gets angry. I'm sorry. Itachi realized that he had used the wrong method this time and felt a little helpless. Qing held him in her arms and brought him angry into bed. She didn't lift the quilt until his body began to warm up. And he didn't say a word the whole time. Itachi hurriedly grabbed his hand. Brother, Qing turned around and looked at Itachi, deflated. This is against the rules. You only call me brother at times like this. He poked Itachi's forehead. I'm going to take a shower. You go to sleep first. Itachi, the self-torture trick failed, but not completely. Chapter 248. It was already dawn and time for duty was almost here. Itachi thought he wouldn't be able to sleep. When Qing came back, a while had passed. Itachi woke up with a start. He felt the chill on Qing's body. Where have you been? As a warm baby without any complaints. It was almost time to go out, and Qing had no intention of letting him go. Qing, I should go out now. Sleep with me for a while longer. Qing stretched out his hand and stroked Itachi's hair, while holding him with his other hand, as if to coax him to sleep. Be good, sleep for a while longer. Itachi looked at Qing, who was so close to him, then looked at the clock in the distance, waited for a while, and then closed his eyes. I'll skip work for a while. I believe the Hokage won't pursue it. The two little ones got up early, changed their clothes and prepared to go to school, but they didn't see any familiar figures. Naruto was a little confused for a moment, and saw a simple can of milk and a sandwich on the table, as well as a note that read, I will send your lunch to school today. Naruto took the pen and replied, okay. Then he and Sasuke took breakfast out and ate while walking on the way to school. Sasuke saw a drunk lying on the side of the road. There were obvious signs of fighting on his body, and his brows were slightly frowned. Several hours had passed since Itachi woke up. The people around him had woken up at some point and were staring at him. Awake. He had a smile in his eyes, and was obviously no longer angry. Did you sleep well? Itachi nodded with red hairs. Yes. Surrounded by Qing's scent, he slept peacefully. Good morning, Itachi. Qing kissed him gently on the forehead. Good morning kiss. Lie down for a while or get up. The redness of Itachi's ears spread to his neck and face. Wake up. Okay. Qing looked at his immature appearance and suppressed the urge to bully him. After preparing the children's lunchboxes, he and Itachi sent them there before going home for lunch. It was already afternoon, so Qing treated today as a day off and had no intention of opening the store. He took Itachi with him to skip work. Watching Qing leisurely drinking tea and reading a book, Itachi hesitated for a while before asking again, what were you busy with last night? I'm reading the letter and replying to it. Qing answered without even raising his head. Hearing this answer, Itachi's heart skipped a beat and he remained silent. Qing tried hard to recall which word he had just said that made Itachi sad, and I realized that Itachi was too focused on the fact that he was busy replying to letters last night. Why? Qing always felt that he had missed some news. After thinking for a while, he told Itachi in detail. The letter was written by a kid from the Hidden Sand Village. Do you remember that I went to the Hidden Sand Village before? As little Naruto this year, in other words, when we first met, he was just a little kid of 3 or 4 years old. He has written me many letters over the past few years. I just received them yesterday. In order to finish writing them before the envoy from the Hidden Sand Village returns, I was writing back to him last night. Itachi reported to the Hokage building the next day. Itachi could not understand. For a moment later, I found out that he was not absent from work yesterday. It was Qing who went to the Hokage to ask for leave early in the morning. Chapter 249. After meeting the Hokage, the envoy from Sand Village was led by Kakashi to visit Konoha. The green plants and air of Konoha form a sharp contrast with the Sand Village, which is surrounded by wind and sand all year round. It would be a lie to say I'm not envious. No wonder every Kazakage wanted to conquer Konoha over the years. Compared to exquisite jewelry and clothing, and a variety of food, the Hidden Sand Village is more interested in green plants. Find out if it is easier to support yourself. The easiest plant to survive in sand hidden is the cactus. This trip was also extremely smooth, until an accident happened when today's trip was about to end. On the way back to the hotel, a conflict occurred among the villagers. But when I looked closer, I realized it was actually a one-sided beating. There were many people watching the fun around, but no one dared to step forward to dissuade them. From the few words we heard, we learned that the one who beat the man was the grandson of the daimyo of the Land of Fire. There was once an experience where he caused trouble in Konoha and was captured by the Uchiha clan and thrown into a dungeon. At that time, the matter was quite serious and the daimyo put pressure on the Hokage. But it was Uchiha who locked the person up, on the grounds of disrupting the order of Konoha, and there was nothing the Hokage could do. I don't know where I heard it from, but it turns out that Konoha's guard department is no longer Uchiha's, so I came here today to get back at them. And this is not the first person to be beaten today. The person who was beaten was just an ordinary villager from Konoha. The follow-up of that incident? There were 3 new guard members who arrived late. They first learned the whole story. Then the onlookers were dismissed. Then mediate between the two parties. Finally, one person sent the injured villagers to the hospital, one person escorted the eldest young master home, and the other went back to report and write a report. The matter was resolved so perfectly and there was no follow-up there to cause trouble in Konoha. No matter who they were, would be caught by the Uchiha and thrown into the dungeon. Even the daimyo of the Land of Fire is treated equally. A lot of Konoha's commission missions were taken away by the Uchiha, which also resulted in the Konoha ninjas who had been out on missions for a long time having a vacation. At first everyone was quite happy because they had some time to catch their breath. But later on, they gradually discovered that the Uchiha group from the guard team completed their missions too quickly, and they basically took on missions above B level and below S level, with a 100% mission completion rate. This means that ninjas with average strength can only accept C-level missions. As for those D-level missions that are piled up, D-rank missions, which have no danger, low commissions, and are time-consuming, are basically used to hone the character of newly graduated Jonin. However, the Chunin team that is now unable to receive any missions can only take on D-level missions in order to survive as the Hokage. He is of course very happy to see that so many accumulated commissions can be cleared up, but as the Hokage, he also had to consider everyone in the village. So when ninjas who couldn't get any missions came to him to complain, the third Hokage gradually realized the seriousness of the matter as he saw that the number of D-level missions was gradually decreasing. But how does he deal with this? The Uchiha have been very well behaved recently and there is nothing we can find fault with them. We can't refuse them from taking the mission, right? The wrinkles added several more and 3 generations of headaches. Chapter 250. The rumor that Qing had an underground lover that was circulating some time ago was dispelled because apart from that time when Qing bought flowers, she was never seen buying flowers again. In addition, this young ninja is accompanied by a half-grown child, and is usually seen buying vegetables at the market. Thin layer of ice has formed on the pond through the clear ice. Naruto saw at the bottom a turtle shell. Naruto squatted and looked at it for a long time, and confirmed that it was the one that his uncle brought back before he turned around and made eye contact with Qing, who was drinking tea in the living room. Uncle, what's the matter? Every Saturday is a day off set by Qing, so the store is closed today, and Qing is at home with Naruto. The little turtle seems to be frozen to death, lying motionless in the water. Naruto was a little sad. Should we fish him out? Qing knew that the little turtle he was talking about was Sanwei. How could Sanwei freeze to death just because the weather was too cold? He's not dead. Ziofu is just hibernating. Is that so? What is hibernation? Naruto took off his shoes and walked into the room from the yard. She curled up next to Qing. To put it simply, it's sleeping. Many animals will hibernate when the weather is cold and wake up when it gets warmer. Qing put down the tea and placed his warm palm on Naruto's frozen red face. How about hot pot tonight? Great. Let's eat hot pot. I want to eat meat, then. Do you want to go grocery shopping together? Pick out what you like. Want, Uchiha, ever. Since Uchiha Fugaku led his clan members to withdraw from the power center of Konoha, the older generation has always held a grudge against him. However, due to the huge disparity in strength between the two sides, he did not dare to confront him head-on. After Uchiha Fugaku made the announcement, the younger generation worked hard to complete tasks and save money. The older generation is still living in the clan, and no one knows what plans they will make. The seemingly peaceful day seemed as if both parties had reached an agreement, But everyone had a hunch that this was just the calm before the storm. News has come from the undercover agent that the old men can no longer hold back and have begun to contact Danzo. Upon hearing such news, Uchiha Fugaku just found it ridiculous. After all, they said they wanted to declare war on Konoha, but when the situation got to this point, they wanted to cooperate with Konoha's people to deal with their own people. Or the most annoying one is Danzo. Danzo's desire for the Uchiha Sharingan is obvious to all. Itachi, any news from the Hokage? No, father. Fugaku's forehead softened. It's time to settle things with the elders. Hearing this, Itachi lowered his eyes and remembered what the Hokage had mentioned a few days ago. The third Hokage said that he could send people to support him in calming down the Uchiha internal situation. With his help, things can be easily resolved, and there will be no war that he does not want to see. No innocent tribesmen would die, but the only victim would be Itachi himself. The price to pay after the end is to leave the village and infiltrate the rebel ninja organization. As an undercover agent, Itachi was relieved that his father decided not to rebel against Konoha anymore. If it was before, he would have agreed without hesitation, but now, Itachi wanted to discuss this with Qing. Itachi would not tell his father about this until he made a decision. Today is relatively short, although it is usually short too. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.